Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be talking about Li Auto. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investor journey together. So today we're going to be talking about Li Auto. And if you guys don't know what Li Auto actually does, Li Auto is another company based out of China that specializes in producing EV cars. Looking at the 5-year chart, this thing actually IPO'd July 30 of 2020, so fairly recent IPO. It's been on the market for about 6 months now, currently up 87%. Looking at the 3-month chart, it is actually up 66.70%, and the 1-month chart is actually down 18.27%, and looking at the 1-week chart, it is down 2.39%. Now, Li Auto, in my opinion, is probably the EV company with the most potential, and I feel like it is the most slept on. Li Auto, being a company that sells electric vehicles, has been getting a lot of heat recently. Analysts rating Li Auto mostly a buy, with an analyst price target around $37. For me, I do think Li Auto is actually undervalued for what they offer as an actual company itself. Currently sitting at $29.04. I do think Li Auto is a definite buy at these prices. Obviously, everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion. But taking a look at the vast majority, or taking a look at the bigger picture, there's 3 EV companies based out of China. It's Xpeng, Li Auto, and NIO. NIO having the highest stock price, sitting around $48.98. And they also sell the most vehicles. Second is Xpeng. Xpeng with a price around $43, but they actually don't sell as much vehicles as Li Auto does. Li Auto currently holds second as far as how many vehicles were sold. Li Auto actually did have some really good news recently. We did get a look at their overall deliveries for the month of December, and as I am not surprised, they over-delivered. They delivered 6,126 vehicles, which is up 530% from their deliveries from last December. So I've said this time and time again, the EV market is really starting to mature, and the EV market overall is really starting to grow. The fact that Li Auto is putting up these consistent of numbers really goes to show, that Li Auto is growing as a company, but I feel like it does not get as much attention as Xpeng and NIO. But you guys should not overlook Li Auto. I think it is a definite buy at $20.04, and I think this stock is severely undervalued. Company in itself said that by the fourth quarter, they were planning on delivering around 11,000 to 12,000 vehicles, and the company ended up delivering above 14,000 vehicles. So overall, I do think that Li Auto's results and the results that are putting up is aligned with consistent growth, and I think it is aligned for Li Auto as a company itself that's going to be doing very, very well in the year of 2021. I think this one is very overlooked, and I think that people should actually be picking up the stock. Currently sitting at $29.04, is the cheapest out of the 3 EV companies that currently sit out of China. With Tesla expanding to China, it's definitely going to raise up the competition, but I would definitely not count Li Auto out. Like I said, Li Auto currently holds second out of Xpeng, NIO, and Li Auto itself as far as vehicle deliveries. And we have seen the consistent growth with Li Auto. They're consistently selling more vehicles. And like I said, on top of the 530% increase from December 2019 to December 2020, they also ended up selling almost double the amount of vehicles that they did in November to December. So you could tell that the company is on a huge trajectory of growth as the overall Chinese EV market. A lot of these Chinese EV companies are making big moves. They're trying their best to ramp up production, expand, work on autonomous driving technology. So I know that these stock prices are not done growing just yet. A lot of concerns do raise up, especially with the Chinese delisting bill that did pass in the United States, basically saying that if these Chinese companies do not abide by U.S. auditing guidelines, they're going to get delisted from the NASDAQ. I don't see Li Auto, Xpeng, or NIO getting delisted at all. Their deliveries are pretty consistent, but what gives Li Auto an advantage over Xpeng and NIO is the amount of cash that the company currently has sitting. And if you take a look at their balance sheet is actually the best looking one, and they're the closest to profitability. What do I mean by that altogether? If you take a look at NIO and Xpeng, yes, their vehicle deliveries are great. Yes, the companies are growing, and I know that one day they'll be profitable, but those companies are currently operating at a loss, along with Li Auto as well. But if you take a look at Li Auto as a company in itself and their overall balance sheet, the company is actually doing very well as far as numbers go. And I know that Li Auto does have the potential to be a top EV company in China. Don't get me wrong, I am not bashing NIO and I'm not bashing Xpeng. I'm actually super bullish on both of them. But Li Auto, I feel like, is the most slept on, and I feel like it gets the least amount of attention. I think all three of them are actually going to do very, very well in China. I think all three of them are going to be top EV companies. Even taking a look at basic statistics, they do expect and project that, Chinese EV car sales are going to start rising up from here, expecting 20% of our car sales to be electric cars in China by the year of 2025, and expecting that number to jump up all the way up to 50% by 2035. It just goes to show that Li Auto as a company is growing, and I do think that Li Auto is a definite buy at $29.04. Taking a look at everything all together, they're also working on better and better technology. They're also working on autonomous driving technology, the self-driving chip, and the perfection of it. Bigger and better batteries as well. They're delivering more cars. You could tell that their projections and their deliveries are getting better and better. The company's balance sheet overall looks better. I can tell you guys right now that this stock is not going to sit here at $29.04 any much longer. I think this company is severely undervalued, and I do think that Li Auto probably is going to hit around $50 to $75 in the year of 2021 if it continues the trajectory of growth that it's continuously had, and with the rise of the EV market and the expansion, the overall market maturity for that specific industry, it's pretty easy to tell that, a lot of these companies are really starting to boom and their sales are getting better and better. The only downside that a lot of people really talk about these companies is they feel like the overall EV market is a bubble. They relate it to the dot-com bubble. But for me, taking a look at the bigger perspective of everything, especially when it comes to battery power is going to be the next wave. It is going to lead us into the next decade. Take a look at all the EV companies that IPO'd this year, let alone all the Chinese EV companies and the overall EV companies, whether it be Tesla, NIO, Xpeng, Li Auto, and all these other EV companies are doing superbly well. And all of them did very, very well in the year of 2020. You have to understand that we were in the midst of a pandemic. A lot of companies were not doing well. A lot of these EV companies definitely did rise up, and they were showing that these companies are able to grow. Taking a look at how many companies diversified their battery power, you have some people working on battery powered trucks, battery powered delivery vans, battery powered commercial vehicles altogether. There is so much you can do with battery power. It is going to be the future. This is how I know that Li Auto does have a spot and that Li Auto is going to grow from here. Taking a look at how consistent their deliveries are, like I said, up 530% from last year to this year is just absolutely amazing. I mean, to think that a company is growing that fast goes to show, it's much more than just Li Auto as a company, but it's the overall EV market maturity that's really carrying Li Auto into the next decade. And I know that Li Auto is going to do great in the year of 2021. I think people should buy Li Auto stock. I actually do think it is worth it. With that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you think of Li Auto stock. Do you think Li Auto stock is a buy, $29.04? If you guys own Li Auto stock, how many shares do you guys own and what's your average? I'm always very curious to know. With that being said, guys, thank you. Have a great day.